So right before I did that, I actually had an offer and I was contemplating it. It was comfortable. It was safe. Albert was like, I've been doing a lot of research and, I'm looking at going into this other company called Family First Life. I think you would do really well there. And I was like, no, I told you that, right?
Yeah, you did.
It's like going back to an ex that like treated you bad.
You're not supposed to go backward.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Elite Sales Podcast. We're in studio here with my special guest, Brittany Smart, who's a Hall of Fame producer here with Family First Life. Okay, so what exactly is Hall of Fame so everyone out here knows?
$400K issue paid on your own pen in 1 year.
Okay, so that's not team production. This is what you do personally. So she went out and she wrote over $400,000 of issue paid business. That's not submit business where a lot of other IMOs talk about here's how much we submitted and but if you submitted it, did it actually get issued? Did you actually get paid on it? And with 100% plus commission that we have here at Family First Life, which goes all the way up to 145%, you're bringing home a very good chunk of that.
Yep.
Okay. So we're looking forward to hearing from you. We also got in studio in front of the camera today. We got Yoel, our producer.
Was popping.
All right. So let's get into it, Brittany. Just wanted to first of all just for the people that haven't had a chance to hear from you before, how did you start with Family First Life? How long have you been here? Like, what's the deal?
Albert poached me from just kidding. I have known Al now for like 13 years or something like that. He's been a very good friend. And I was actually, so we were working together at another company and I was going to leave that company and go back to banking. I actually was making like a low six figures when I was doing portfolio management for a couple of different banks. So that is where I had found the most success. I was considered a quote unquote a top producer, you could call it, right? Yeah. At our other company. Yep. And the most I issue paid I think I hit like President's Club 1 year or something. And like I took home like 65 grand. And in LA, you guys know that's like no money. You really can't survive on that after expenses and everything. So I was just, I had told myself that there was no money in insurance. And so I was going to go back to banking. So right before I did that, I actually had an offer and I was contemplating it. It was comfortable. It was safe. Albert was like, I've been doing a lot of research and, I'm looking at going into this other company called Family First Life. I think you would do really well there. And I was like, no, I told you that, right?
Yeah, you did.
It's like going back to an ex that like treated you bad.
You're not supposed to go backward. So I was like, I cannot, I was like, I really don't see myself selling insurance anymore. I was like super burnt out and I was just like, just done. But I trusted him. And here I am. Here we are 3.5 years later.
3.5 years later.
Yeah. I was resistant at first though. Like for 2018, I worked really part-time. I didn't start working full-time until August 2018. But once I started working, guys, it was pretty easy to do 20, 30K a month. So once you start doing 20 to 30K, you're like, okay, I got this. I could do 40, 50 and more. Now people are doing 100K a month.
That's right. I mean, things have evolved so quickly in our 3.5 years here so far, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the standard keeps rising and which is a great thing because you just know how much more opportunities there. So like as much as she's done as a Hall of Fame producer, the fact that we've been over $1 million a month with our team, the thing is, I still feel like we're barely getting started, and which is a good thing. It's not a knock on what we've done, and we appreciate what we've done up to this point. But you just recognize like there's so much more to this business and this opportunity because of the way it's set up. Sean did an amazing job of setting up a company, putting the agents first, the people that really actually do the work.
Yeah.
And then people get compensated for the way that's supposed to. So it's been great. So what have been some of the challenges for you so far? Because everyone talks about how great Family First Life is all the time. So, I mean, I think it's fair for us to just acknowledge that it's still work, still business.
I think at first, like if I could go back, the phones was very difficult for me, guys. I didn't start out just like being able to book 30 appointments a week, 20 appointments a week. I struggled with that. I would do what like a lot of people do. I'd work from home And then I'd sit down at my desk and I'd be like, oh, my floor's dirty. I need to clean it. I'm going to run to the gym really quick. I'll be back. I'll get back on the phones at like 1:00, like I was doing all those things. I wasn't sticking to a schedule. So I was not very disciplined when it came to the phones. The in-home and the products we have here are so amazing that you could literally not know what you're doing. You could call your manager in the house, tell them what prescription medications the client is taking, and then you can actually walk away helping that client. But in order to get there, we have to get the appointment, we have to get to the door, right? So that was what I probably struggled with the most. And then at first, I really wasn't buying leads like I should have been.
Right.
So I didn't invest, like I wasn't spending $1,000 right off top.
Right. So at what point did you recognize, hey, this is what I should be doing and I got to invest on a regular basis?
I think, okay, so Facebook leads was kind of like a newer thing. Yep. And I had done a podcast with corporate about how to issue 20K a month off Facebook leads. It was like brand new. So I was like, okay, this Facebook thing's pretty easy. This is cool. I love, seeing seniors, and I've always liked that market, So once you start doing 20, I started actually looking into doing travel trips. And then once I started traveling I was living in LA at the time, I was traveling to Vegas. So when I would go on my travel trips, I'd write like 10K in a couple days or in a day. And it happened very quickly. I was like, wow, like I can actually scale this business, go from 20 to 40 very quickly with just basically spending double of what I'm spending now. And that's basically what I did. So I started traveling, I started doubling my lead flow, and I also started getting more serious about the business. So anything that wasn't like helping me on my mission, anything that wasn't related to the end goal, I completely cut off. Like I actually cut off most of the people that I used to associate with.
Right.
Gots to sometimes.
Have to.
Dead weight.
So yeah, I mean, I isn't it crazy? You were just talking about you were at corporate recording something, a training on how to get 20,000 a month, issue paying 20,000 a month. And then now like you're disgusted with yourself whenever you hit 20,000 because it's just yeah. So I mean that's a good thing. And also you're talking about doing your travel trips. I mean, a lot from the company that we came from, it's extremely regional, right? Mm-hmm. So you only work that territory, you signed your free leads for that month.
South LA, baby.
That was your hood.
Yep.
And then so you work that area, then you just got to collect referrals because you probably get 30 to like 40 leads a month, somewhere around that.
Yeah, something like that.
And then here you have an opportunity now to purchase as many as you want, but also on top of just purchasing the amount of leads that you want, you can choose which area you want to work. So you've done a ton of that in your time here. So you've been all over the country, working all different parts.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you noticed any difference? Which by the way, for those that are just watching, you just go on the CRM. You go on the heat map. It shows you where all the leads are at. You click onto that state. You click onto the county. You select the quantity you want. Put in your cart. Hit purchase. Boom, you got them. They show up in your CRM right away. So you control how much you want to work, how little you want to work, how much you want to make, how little you want to make. So you've been even before taking travel trips was really popular. It started really pick up some steam now, but you were doing it from the start.
Yeah.
Okay? So working all across the country. Number one, was it scary to go travel elsewhere to go do it? Number two, have you noticed any differences between working different areas?
No, it's not scary because I get bored really quickly. So like if I'm in one geographic location for too long, I get really bored. So I personally am someone that really likes the city. I don't gravitate to like rural areas. So while sometimes guys like sometimes you want to go to rural areas though, because those are not worked as much and they hardly ever see people. So it's a lot easier to get in front of people. I tend to go to like bigger cities. But one of the things that I saw was that, so you remember Jack Yu at that time?
Yeah.
He's like a 4-time Hall of Fame producer, 3 or 4 times. Yeah, something like that. He's produced a ton of business. He also helped me along with Albert when I started, and he was doing travel trips, and he was actually like generous enough to like really like ingrain and pound it in my head. Like, if you want to do more, you need to go travel. You need to go travel. You need to go travel. So, I took that advice from somebody who was where I wanted to be, and that's what I did. And it just became second nature. And then, so actually when I was at home running, it didn't feel it felt weird,
All right. So, I mean, you saw, I mean, people that say like, oh, this area is better. This area is better. Like, what do you have to say to those people?
It's probably you, but one of the things I say though, when people say like the leads are bad, it's like, you're bad, probably. calling them. It's like you're not doing what you need to be doing on the phones. But if you don't like an area, just change the area you're in. If they don't have money, go to another area.
Right. Yeah, I think that's one thing that I get a lot of calls from people. And then there's like, oh, I called all these leads. I didn't book as many appointments as I was expecting or as much as I wanted. And they're like, what should I do? And I'm like, they're like, oh, these leads don't work or whatever.
You know, people are like, they're like, oh, you know, people just aren't really picking up today. I'm like, oh, really? Everybody today is not picking up. Everybody.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
And it's like if you take like a poll across the company, like, oh, no one booked today. Everyone decided not to pick up. So is it really those like no one's picking up, or is it just you're maybe a little bit off for today, which is fine. Like we're all human. This is all part of it. So the thing is, you know, you have to understand that you're going to get better over the course of time. And if you don't put in the work, you don't put in the time, like there's just no way of getting better. So you guys just have to kind of understand these things.
And don't get me wrong, guys, like we're all human and sometimes we have terrible dial sessions. Sometimes, you know, to book 16 appointments, it might take me 2 or 3 hours. And then there's days that it will take me 8 hours, depending on what I'm dialing, what my inventory looks like, so like we all have those days. And we do have days where you're going to have to call people 7 times versus 2 times before they pick up. Just hit them multiple times during the day. Personally, I see a lot of success dialing from 4 to 9. That's something actually that I wish like people would do more of. If you don't get the results that you want to get during the day, especially if you're calling mortgage protection or people that are working, generally you're going to have a better response dialing from 4 to 9. Because if you're catching them during the day, you better be really good at quick setting. And then and if you do quick set that appointment, you want to make sure you're double booking those for the next day. Because if I'm calling you, Al, and you're in the car and you're like, yeah, whatever, I'll be home tomorrow between 5 and 6, but I caught you and he's driving and he's literally not paying attention to me. There's a higher probability that he's not going to be home. Yeah. So you know what I mean? So if you're not really good at quick setting those appointments, then just make sure that you're setting like really solid appointments and you're taking advantage of the whole day. Sometimes you have to call people at 9:15, 9:30, call until you get cussed out.
Yeah. So how do you take it when people cuss you out? People hang up, not interested, slam the door in your face, whatever it is. Like, what's your mindset?
I used to be like really quiet about it and like nicer about it, I suppose. Now I'm just like, why did you fill out this form? Why are you wasting my time? Stop filling out forms. That's what we like to say. Right. When people do that. Yeah. But I've also seen like on the flip side, like when you kill them with kindness, like sometimes it snaps them out of it. Like I heard a couple agents, like actually Claudia, we were on live dials this morning. Claudia got somebody that she was just like super like, I don't want that. I didn't do it. Stop calling me, and like I saw her response and her response was really just, all right, and she's just like, oh, I'm sure she's having a bad day. I'll catch her on another day. And probably that could be, she was waiting for a doctor's appointment. So she thought that the call she was getting was from Claudia, was her doctor. But it's just like, we have to remember, guys, like you never know what the other person on the other end of the phone is going through. They might've just lost a parent, a relative, a child. And it's not personal. They don't know you. They don't really care about what you have going on. They're just like, they're reacting in that moment.
And like, sorry to cut you off. There's a lot of like scam calls and people are so like me. I'm so sick of getting calls. Like literally my bank called me and I was about to be like, hello. Like, I'm like annoyed, because like, you're just so sick of random people calling you. So like, it's nothing personal. It's just like people really just are sick of calls. So like, if you're like sharp, unemotional, like I think that does go a long way rather than like being combative and be like, whoa, why'd you fill this out? Like, I'm mad at you. It's like, no, like, you got to be, empathetic to these people because you're that person too. Like no one loves getting calls from random people. So it's like, you got to be like kind of empathetic to that.
Plus everyone kind of prejudges as soon as they get on the phone. Cause I remember I was up, this is a kind of a tangential story, but back in high school, I was at my buddy's house. And then like someone kept calling and then like you couldn't really hear and then they'd hang up. So then I was like, I bet you this is like a prank call. So then I'm like, I hope he calls back. So he calls back and I'm like, listen, pal, whoever this is, like, it's not funny. Stop it. Blah, blah, blah. And I cussed at him and it turned out to be his grandpa.
Oh, no.
So, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, you don't know who's on the other end of the phone. So, I mean, like you can't take anything personal. So you just have to
I have fun with it.
and you have to. It's either you have fun with it or you allow yourself to be miserable.
Yeah.
Which damages the rest of your upcoming performance for any of these other calls you do in the future. So keeping the right mindset. So since we are on the topic of phones, I mean, I think a lot of people always ask, I'm sure they ask you all the time because they want to know what the secret sauce is. Because they're like, oh, I've called these leads so many times, I'm not able to book them. So it must be you have some secret script as a top producer. Okay. So when it comes to mortgage leads, like what's the difference? Like, why do you, because we have had a lot of older mortgage leads in the CRM.
I just say, guys, do what works for you. You know, like if Yoel and I could tell we have very different personalities. Yep. I like him though. He makes me laugh.
That different?
But I don't know, maybe, but I think we both have maybe like the same sense of humor though, which is why I think he's funny.
Yeah.
But I just think like, you know, let's take, for example, you and I are probably we're not going to sound the same on the phone. Mm-hmm. We're not going to take the same approach to calling someone. So I would just say, you know, find somebody that you could relate to and use what they use to an extent, but make it work for you so it can come more naturally. I think the biggest thing with the phones is that if you sound too scripted and really like the first 2 to 5 seconds is going to determine whether they listen to the rest of the phone call or they hang up. So if you guys can get their attention in some way and just sound like it just really needs to be a conversation versus like a phone script, you'll be fine. Like you'll have their attention. Just listen, you know, I'm trying to get this information out to you. I don't have a script that I use because the East Coast has really helped, like moving to living on the East Coast for a year helped me tremendously with my phone script. You know, it's rough out there, guys. Like
it's different pace, different.
Yeah.
People communicate differently.
Yeah. You have 2 seconds before they hang up on you. Here, West Coast, you know, I feel like you got a little bit longer, but you know, I had to adapt really quickly and just find what works for me. So I would just say, do what works for you. You know, if tying them down on the phone, asking them a lot of questions works for you and you're booking appointments and they're there, keep doing that. You know, I like to just be on and off the phone, Al, because when I started, Matt Smith said, nothing good happens over the phone. Like Matt Smith was like the guru for me when I started. Like he helped me make thousands and thousands of dollars with his YouTube videos and his trainings. And he always said, nothing good comes over the phone, because when you're new and if you say too much, it opens up a whole different can of worms. And if you're not strong enough on the phones and you aren't able to like keep control throughout the entire conversation, they're definitely going to throw you off and you're probably not going to book that appointment. That's why he says on and off.
Right. That's good advice. So what would you say to someone who called through their 30 leads and then they didn't book anyone? They say like, oh, they'll text and be like, oh, I went through all my leads and no one picked up.
You got to hit them on the burner phone, hit them on like multiple phones. You know, door knock them. If you only have 30 leads, guys, you could bang those door knocks out in a matter of hours. If you are, what is it? Putting them through road work. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I mean, I brought out that example because I'm like, number one, you only have 30 leads. So let's keep it some perspective.
That's rough.
You need more than that.
It is rough. Yeah.
But, you know, even if you have 30 leads, I mean, that's also the thing. It's not like I have 30 leads, I'm going to make 30 dials. I think a lot of people go through and there's like, I called each one time already and like I couldn't get anyone on the phone. And I'm like, there's such a thing as you can redial and redial and redial. And like we used to, at our old company, we used to like dial the same person maybe like several times an hour and do it all day long until we booked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when I had like a lot of leads, it was usually like, even when I had like, I'd build up like an inventory, it was like calling them 4 times a day. Like morning when they get off work, like 4 times, like going through it 4 times, like it's just not like weird. Like if you think about it,
right.
You know, if they didn't answer, then, you know, it's not like you're talking to them and harassing them, you know, 4 times a day. It's like, you're just trying to make a contact. Like it's nothing personal. You know, people are like, oh, I don't want to bother them. You know, well, if I was the person that sent this in, I don't want to be bothered, where it's like, but it's like, you're not that person. Like, I think we assume other people are like us. Like if I request something, I want them to try to get a hold of me, right?
Yeah. Just think of it as a job. Like if someone filled something out, whether they remembered it or not, or whether they admit to it that they filled it out or not, but they did, I mean, we didn't get that lead out of thin air. Someone filled it out. And sometimes it is because you call in and you call at the wrong time, and they're just like they're not in a position to do. We got an extra special guest here, but we got if people are filling out, someone filled it out, so it's your job to resolve it. Go find a way to get in the home, at least get a no, get like just do something with it. But the thing is, don't sit on it and just think like, oh, I tried and not very hard, but I tried and I couldn't get a hold of them. Like, do your job.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, guys, your mindset is everything when you approach, I think, anything in life, but especially when you approach dialing leads and calling people. Like, if you think you're bothering them and they hear that in your voice, like, it's like blood in the water with a shark.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you really have no chance. So I think the first thing is like the belief in what you're doing. Do you really believe in what we're doing? Do you believe that we're helping people that filled out, a request? Like Albert just said, like, we have a job to do and that's it, so taking the emotion out of it is on the phones is very, very important.
Right. I mean, yeah, don't overthink it. Don't put your emotions into it, because the client doesn't care. Like, you shouldn't care about the emotional part of it either.
And you should feel like you're like people. Someone used to say to me, like, just because they have the money doesn't mean you're providing them way more value than like they're providing you. So like come into it with that attitude. A lot of the times we're so like commission happy. Like I used to work in insurance, I don't anymore, but even in business, right? Like we so like just want, to make sure we close that deal and get the money. But at the end of the day, like, you should have that confidence of like, I'm providing you more than you're providing me. Yeah, you happen to be the one with the money, but it's like, you got to have that same energy rather than be like, am I bothering you? Is this a good time? It's like, hey, move whatever you're doing to the side. Like, I have a service to provide for you that you requested for, Yeah. It's good to have that mentality with anything.
Yeah. Don't be apologetic for it. You're here to do your job. You're here to provide for the people that have requested it. You're also here to provide for your family. So the thing is, the worst that can happen is someone tells you no. So for those of you that get frustrated for not booking all your appointments, I mean, take it from a Hall of Fame producer. Take it from someone that works all different types of leads all across the country. Like, your situation is not unique. Your situation is not like everyone else is booking, but then although that batch of leads that you got, everyone just decided to pick on you. Like, get more leads, keep dialing, get better at the phones. Like, it's all part of the process.
And we all go through it, guys. It's a learning process. I wasn't always as confident as I am on the phones and in the home. Like, I was just, I had the same mentality, I think, when I started, that, I was afraid to call people during certain hours, or I was afraid to bother them and tell them I was coming over,
Yeah.
So it gets easier the more you do it. It's reps.
So I think a few people have asked you as you came in today, because it's a rare treat to get you in the office since you've been on the East Coast. People come in and they say, like, so what's your phone script like? So can you just go through that for us real quick?
If I talk really fast, slow me down. Okay.
No, that's fine.
So I work everything, as Albert said: internet leads, mortgage leads, age mortgage leads. So we'll go through, I guess, like an age mortgage. Well, my mortgage script is the same, guys. And again, if you're using something that's working, don't change anything. Okay. If there's a couple of things I say that you pick up and you like it, great. Okay. So ring.
Hello. No, I'm just playing. You go for it. I couldn't wait to do that. Hello.
Yoel.
Yeah. What's up?
Yoel. Hey, this is Brittany. That's the underwriter for the mortgage insurance, Yoel, for your property loan at 123 Main Street there in Camden. You filled out the forms and sent it back to us, Yoel, about paying off the loan in the event something happened to you, like a death, disability, or an illness. They actually have me covering Camden County tomorrow. So I wasn't sure timing wise tomorrow when I could get you on the schedule for about 15 to 20 minutes, morning, afternoon, or evening.
I don't remember filling that out.
Okay. So it's the loan you did with Wells Fargo for the $278,867. I don't know. It could have been a refinance you did.
Oh yeah. That sounds about right.
Okay. So I have the form here. It's in your handwriting. When I come out tomorrow, Yoel, I'll actually bring it with me. So maybe it'll help you jog your memory, but I just wasn't sure timing wise tomorrow when I could see you at the house for about 15 to 20 minutes to take care of this. And then I'll be on my way.
Yeah. I get off at like 5. I got work all day.
Okay, perfect. Now, I didn't see a co-borrower or spouse on the form that I have here. Do you have a spouse or partner or anybody else on the loan, or anybody that should be present with us?
No, I'm single.
Okay, perfect. So, my name is Brittany Yoel. I will be, I can see you tomorrow between like 5:30 and 6:30. I'll put you on the schedule. Now, I do see about 8 families a day. So I do typically, honestly, I do run about an hour late a lot of times. So I'm going to try to be there as close to 5:30 as I can, but I will be there somewhere between that 5:30 and 6:30 window. Okay. So just wanted to let you know I will be coming. And I'm also going to bring my state credentials with me tomorrow. That way you can verify I am who I say I am. Like I said, I only need you for about 15-20 minutes and then I'm out of your hair.
Sounds good.
All right. Perfect. I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Expertly done. And even with the objections or people saying they don't remember, unemotional, just keep a very even keel the entire time. So hopefully that helps some of you guys. I mean, there's no secret sauce.
I have it on text message, guys. I just, I do help other agencies with calls, and a lot of the agents reach out to me and they ask, can you text me that script? I say, sure, no problem. So I'll give you guys my cell phone number. It's 310-433-1183. You guys can text me. I can send it out, or, I send it to Al.
Yep.
Or I could put it in the
group chat.
Yeah.
What is it?
310
310
433 1183. And then, so I know a lot of us probably on this group are doing internet leads. So pretty much, guys, I literally say about the same thing. So it's like ring, Albert.
Yes.
Hey, Al, it's Brittany. I'm the underwriter for the state life insurance programs in Los Angeles County, Al. You had requested the information about getting qualified for the life insurance programs. They have me out in your area tomorrow. I just wasn't sure timing wise when I could swing by for about 10 to 15 minutes to go over the qualifications with you to see what you qualify for. Then I'll be on my way, morning, afternoon, or evening.
Well, I think someone already came out.
Okay, perfect. The reason why I'm calling you is actually because it looks like this request hasn't been cleared from the system. So that does happen from time to time. Did you already take advantage of a state regulated program?
Yeah, this guy signed me up for life insurance.
Okay, perfect. So all I need you to do then, Al, is did you receive a copy of your policy in the mail?
I think they emailed it to me.
Okay, perfect. So that's even better. I'm going to swing by tomorrow. What time are you generally home? Morning, afternoon, or evening tomorrow? I just need you for about 15 minutes.
I'm retired. Okay,
perfect. So I'm going to swing by for about 8:30 tomorrow, between 8:30 and 9:30 a.m. And all I need you to do, Albert, is just have that policy out so I can just basically inventory it for you. I'll mark it in the system that I was able to see you, and I'm going to clear it from the file. That way I can make sure that you don't continue to get bombarded with phone calls. So again, if there's nothing I can help you with, I'll be on the way in 5 minutes.
Great.
All right, perfect. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Now, one thing you guys want to do, obviously verify the address, guys. I don't do, again, this is just me. I don't do the tie downs of what does the house look like? Are the letters of the house on the mailbox, the house? If that works for you, keep doing it. I don't do it because generally, like when I'm talking with people, we have decent rapport. So my show ratio tends to be good because I'm like, I do get the objection of, hey, somebody was already out to see me. I don't want to do this anymore. I get the same objections. And what I tell them, especially with mortgage insurance and the age mailers, is I'm like, Albert, all my job is to do is just to basically come out tomorrow to see if you even qualify for the programs to cover your loan. I'm like, listen, if it doesn't make sense to you, we'll just go ahead and remove it from the file and I'll be on the way. I just need you though for about 15 to 20 minutes to go over this. And when you give them that, like, kind of like, it almost gives them like an out a little bit, but by the time you get there and go into it, they realize they need it. So I never have people say, oh, I thought you were just going to clear this from the file. But over the phone, you seem less pushy, right? And it's less of like you're trying to sell them something over the phone, that people, like, their resistance just goes down like so much,
Absolutely. Once you get face to face with somebody, it's not,
yeah,
they're dealing with a real human being rather than just some random voice over the phone. So
one thing I might say is if I know it's like in the hood or it's like a really busy area, I'm like, where can I park? Because I know like on Western, like I can't park on the street. So can I park in your driveway, or do you have assigned parking I could park in? Right. Stuff like that. That might help like tie down the appointment a little bit. But again, however you're tying things down, if it works for you, keep doing that.
Right. Well, I mean, I think you've obviously acquired a lot of knowledge and expertise over the course of just becoming a Hall of Fame producer, because you can't run that many appointments and not get better. Right.
Agreed.
So, I mean, things have gotten a lot easier for you. So then obviously you've accomplished what you've accomplished, and I'm real happy for you. But now you're entering like a different phase in your career now. Like you're, aside from just still going out there and producing, you're also building a team. So how's that going, and what's the reason for you to get into this?
I struggled at first, to be honest. It's hard for me to talk to people every day because I'm such a I'm like kind of a loner, so like I'm kind of like an extroverted introvert. But seeing other people like take this opportunity for what it is, and seeing other agents excited about it, seeing people change their lives and help families and change their own financial situation. Like I know that video that JP did was like so like touching to me when he was saying like, he was literally about to, I literally told like, bro, don't do that. Yeah. Like, don't declare bankruptcy, because I said, the insurance companies are never going to hire you with a bankruptcy. They're not going to contract you. Generally,
it'll make it a little bit more difficult.
Right.
Not always, but
Well, I scared him and I said, there's no way. But, just seeing like those kind of things, working with John and Claudia, they're about to open an office in Orange County. So I'm helping them with that. And that's going to actually be happening in September. Awesome. So I'd love everybody to come out for the grand opening of that. Daryl is an agent I work with in North Carolina. He's 24. He's totally like changed the trajectory of his life, and like the history of like what he grew up in and what he sees in Durham, North Carolina is like he's sending me texts every day about like dudes getting shot on the freeway, his neighbor getting killed, and like just seeing people be able to change their lives through life insurance and helping other people and families. Like that's actually the most motivating thing for me, because I know what this has done for me, but seeing it then translate to other people is also really rewarding.
Yeah, I mean it's a bigger purpose than just making money, because you could just make money producing yourself.
Right. It's a lot easier.
It's a lot easier, a lot less to manage, because you can always control your own effort. You can control your own work ethic, how much you're willing to invest in your business. It's hard to do it for other people. So the other thing is you just have to keep building your own value, continue to work on your own personal business. And then if you're gonna attract the people that you want, and you've done a good job of attracting the right people with Daryl and John, Claudia, JP, all the other people on your team. So it's exciting to watch. And I do remember when we started, you're like, I don't want to build a team. I just want to focus on me. I just want to focus on my personal production.
Yeah, Al is like, he's ridden through a lot of different storms with me, because I'm like, I used to be like I'm a really intense person. So I'm like either all in or I'm at zero. And he never pushed me to go either way. He's always just been like, and you guys know from working with Al, he's just like so laid back. He's like, yeah, do what you want to do. He's just like, but I did know like on the back end that there was something more to it. And I did know I didn't want to just be a producer forever. And then seeing what he's done to be now at over 1 million, and just working with a lot of people here that are successful. Like some of these guys I know from our previous experience. And then some people I know are just like brand new that I see in the group chats that are doing very well. Yep. Like I really commend you. You've done a great job. I
appreciate that. But it's not, but I don't know. I really didn't do anything. It's just, I just like stuck through the whole thing and just continue to share the opportunity with as many people as I can. And the little bit that I do know, when they ask, just be available.
And I think that's like a harder thing to do though, because, you kind of like never falter, you never waver. You always know, like, you always say like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So like, I don't think like, have you ever had doubts along the way?
Never.
Yeah. So, it's hard to maintain that mindset all the time, I feel like. And I feel like the people that have that mindset do the best.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you can't do it by yourself, especially in terms of building a team. But then that's why it's vitally important for you to have the right people around you. Like I'm blessed with the people I have in the office, I talk to on a regular basis. I have people like Brittany, just people that are positive, doing their own thing, even if it's different from what you're doing respectively. But the thing is, if you have the right people around you that are just all motivated to do their own thing, it's inspiring. And if you keep people around you that just want to go and party, that just want to just talk about how things don't work and can keep that negativity around, it's going to drag you down too. So, I mean, I do have some of those people in my life because it's built in with business, and you just have some friends that you just can't entirely abandon. But the thing is, as long as you have more good that outweighs the bad, and that's a personal choice that everyone can make. You're choosing what to keep around in your environment. So, if impacts you negatively to the point where you can't function, you can't grow, you need to get it out all the way together. But if you can deal with some of it, the thing is, I just deal with some of it because I hope that as long as I'm strong enough, I can continue to help some people get out of that situation. And I feel like that's the point. But if it ever gets too heavy, I also know when to cut bait. I also know, I can't continue to deal with this person if it's going to slow me down, which slows my entire team down. So it's all about perspective. And, I've just been very blessed to have the right people around me to help me keep that perspective, especially different ones like Sean and Andrew. I mean, they've got very different perspectives. I mean, we all generally want the same thing, but how we go about things is a little bit different, just like you and I. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. We've been through a ton of different changes. We're almost at the point where we almost are growing up. we fought it for all this time.
Than you.
I don't doubt it. There's no argument here. But so we talk so much about what people should be doing. So what are some mistakes to avoid that you would recommend to new agents out there?
I would say just don't hesitate to buy leads, guys. I know that everybody has a different budget. And if it's $500 is a lot of money to you right now, $1,000, $300, I don't know, is a lot of money to you, then, just understand that when you spend it and you work, you make that money back, like in a surplus. I mean, sometimes there will be times you might buy leads and you'll break even, but honestly, I've never bought leads at FFL and not made either broke even or made some sort of profit. Like it's never happened where I did not at least sell one lead from however many leads I bought.
Right. So
I would say, you just need to like really trust the process, trust the system, talk to the people that are doing well. Don't spend a lot of time talking to people that are like, negative or don't know what they're doing as well, because that's only going to bring you down. Because that puts like seeds of doubt in you. And get on all the trainings. I know that sounds cliche, but the next level live trainings helped me so much. I think those were like the number one things, because when I started YouTube, we weren't doing YouTube videos yet, but the next level live trainings, guys, there's so much good information in those.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like Brittany was going over her phone script earlier, and she mentioned a few times, you gotta find someone who you identify more with, or someone that you sound like it matches your personality a little bit more. So the thing is, everything she said was spot on, but it may not work for everybody. And it's not that overall, it's not really so much about what you say, but it's how you say it. So I mean, there's little things, and you'll pick this up from other people. So the thing is, if you guys are looking for training, if you're like, hey, I'm not that strong on the phones, or my in-home could use some work, or whatever aspect of this business that you feel like is holding you back, which a lot of it's probably just mental, but if you feel like that's holding you back, I mean, you can't go on Facebook and you can't go on YouTube without tripping over tons of FFL content. And there's top producers that are on there sharing exactly what they say, exactly what they do. So that really is on you to take the initiative and actually go out there and just pick up the training yourself.
And don't just follow like FFL USA, follow FFL Tri-State, FFL Priority Life, like Nick Ayala's group.
Yeah, Priority Life,
like in Facebook, because like they all post, guys, like live dial sessions. I would recommend that you guys, if you're struggling on the phones or you're not being disciplined enough to sit down and book 16 appointments for 2 days, plug into the dial sessions. My team does one as well every Monday and Thursday, where we need to be more consistent about it, but we will be. But, plug into these things, because you're going to hear something that somebody says, JP, he responds to an objection or rebuttal. He helped a lot of people this morning. He got on at 7 a.m. because I have people on the East Coast, So he got on this morning and people heard him say things, and they're like, wow, that really helped. So you'll hear somebody say things, it'll resonate with you, and you'll use it, and it'll just come out, and it works.
Yep. Now, earlier you mentioned that the most you made at our previous company was $65,000 in a year, right? Needless to say, you way exceeded that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are your income goals here?
This year, or just period?
I'll leave it open-ended, however you want to interpret it.
I don't know if I could say I have income goals, Al, because like money's never like a motivator for me. Like it never has been. And sometimes like I wish sometimes I was a little bit more money motivated, because sometimes I think I'd make better, like more killer decisions or something for things. But I think that my measure of it will be if I have 3 or 4 people around me getting integrity deals, then I know like income wise, I'm good.
Yeah. I've always looked at it the exact same way. Like I've never worried about my money. I always just looked at it like I just have to keep improving myself personally. I can continue to add value to myself so I can convey out value to other people. And if I'm able to do that, then we'll grow. And if we grow, I mean, I just hope everyone around me makes a lot of money. If everyone makes a lot of money, there's just no way mathematically that I can't make money. I won't make money along the process. So so we'll end it on that unless you have anything else you wanted to share.
No, I just, I'm grateful for being here and thanks for having me.
So glad to have you. And it's great to catch up because it's been a minute.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about income, I just wanted to share a couple of things with you guys real quick before we go here. In the month of April, 44,000. The month of May, 118,000. In the month of June, 83,000. In the month of July, last month, 92,000. Okay. So that'd be great income to make in a month, right? Okay. I mean, good income. I mean, I guess, let me put it in perspective. There's plenty of people here that make way more than that, and that way more than that. So, I mean, small potatoes, you can put that. I like that graphic last time. All right. But with these numbers, 44,000, 118,000, 83,000, 92,000. Okay. Now that's not my income. That's actually how much I spent those months. Okay. Crazy. So, I mean, obviously I'm not starving. I've done okay, but then see, that's the thing. When people say like, I want to make this much money every month, I want to make 6 figures in a month. I want to do this. I want to do that. Are you willing to invest this type of money? And when we talk about investing in leads, which is to fuel your business, so you can go and see people and you help people that request for information. If you're worried about spending $300, $500, $1,000, $2,000 on leads, like how do you expect to continue to grow your business? So I just want to keep everything in perspective. And once again, that's nothing special. I'm sure there's people here that invest way more than that, and they deserve it because they've been able to build up the amount of money, the capital that they need to reinvest back into the business. And for me, all I know is I'm not sitting on my money. There's no point in it. I've looked at the interest rates of banks. You've been a former banker, that you're not going to make any money letting it sit around in your savings account.
You're going to lose money.
You're going to lose money. Inflation.
So, I do have a question though.
Yeah.
Were you spending that a year ago or 2 years ago?
Heck no.
No, right?
So I mean, before I was just kind of trying to play everything safe. I was just like, I'm gonna try to spend as little as I can. I didn't have staff up until August of last year.
Okay.
So I've had staff for 1 year now. So at the time I did, I just told Yoel this. I was telling Yoel, Joanne, I was like, at first when I hired you guys, I was just hoping I could make payroll. And I almost wanted to have the conversation, but I had too much pride. But I was going to say like, hey, just in case we don't have the money, like you're okay if I pay you a week or two later. Okay. So, but then I also knew that I'm like, they got a life to live. They got their bills to pay. So I was like, there's going to be some way, somehow I'm going to come up with that money. Like if I have to go and buy leads and run appointments myself, I'm going to make this thing work. So, but then by virtue of me just having staff and investing in my business and treating it like a real business, the thing is we've taken off, we continue to grow. And looking forward to just dumping more money into this thing. Every time Yoel brings up ideas, he's like, hey, we should look into this. And I'm like, okay. And then later on, he says like, so what do you think about it? And I'm like, let's run it. Yeah. So,
all right.
Yeah. Like everything. So, I mean, just have faith in your business if you're really serious about succeeding. Like the thing is, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know exactly what you're doing yet. Be okay with making mistakes. Be okay with some failure. But the thing is, as long as you continue to move forward and fail forward, you're going to be fine. So just wanted to thank all you guys for getting on this week. Wanted to have a special thanks to Brittany Smart. Appreciated having you on. Looking forward to getting you back on real soon. And thank you to you all for producing for today. So appreciate you guys. See you guys next week. Make it a productive week.
We have a question. What's up?
This was by far the best call yet.
Trisha's like my hype girl. I love you.
She's everyone's hype girl.
I took more out of this call to take with me. I mean, really, real material to walk out, to train people with, to train myself. It was so good. And I love the end of the call too, Albert, just being so transparent about being able to fail. And I think that that's the biggest part is once you let yourself just be okay with failing, then you can just run as fast as you can.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the encouraging thing too. If you guys see people ahead of you, people that are doing better than you right now, just remember they've failed more times than you have. That's really what it is.
Success is a
Great ball.
trap too.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Let's make it a productive week, guys.